Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and welcome to Daddy-Daughter Discussions, where I speak with my daughter Patrice about all the things that go through the minds of young black women and older black daddies. How you doing today, Patrice?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. This is actually a really funny Skype because we're actually in the same house
Hmm.
because we're headed to Costa Rica today for Uncle Lawrence's wedding for my brother Lawrence. But you had something you really wanted to say about this situation with this show Shark Tank, where this guy refers to these two black women as colorful cockroaches. I know when I saw the clip, it really bothered me. I didn't like it. But again, but then I had people saying, "Oh, it's not racism. You're looking for race, and there is no race because he calls everybody cockroaches. He says stuff like this to everybody." Um, Let me ask you this: when you heard about what happened and all this stuff, how did you feel?
Well, I felt like it was disgusting. It was degrading. It was rude. It was disrespectful. And regardless of whether he does that to everybody, to me, if he does that to everybody and people continue to allow it, then that's when he's going to start saying more things. He's not always just going to call them cockroaches. Eventually, they're going to be monkeys, and then they're going to turn into gorillas, and then they're going to turn into anything that you can possibly think of, which is disrespectful.
Well, I felt the same way. I felt the same way, and it's funny because a lot of people feel like, they would say, "Oh, he does that to everybody." I'm like, well, so that makes it okay that he does that to everybody? I mean, I'm sitting here looking at these two young black women, very smart, very pretty girls, not girls, they were women, who had this great business idea. At least they thought it was great. They'd invested a chunk of their lives into this, and I think it's one thing to tell somebody I'm not interested, but it's another thing to say to say I'm not interested and you're a colorful cockroach. Now, do you think that as black women that the comments kind of sting a little bit more, just given how so many things, so many other there's so many other negative perceptions of black women already in the media?
Well, I definitely think that that just kind of adds on to it because I mean we've actually been labeled as the most unattractive woman in the world, African American women, and so when you have somebody who calls us a cockroach, I just kind of wonder why is that tolerated. So to me, it just kind of makes me think, well, do they think that we are the most unattractive women? Because I mean, cockroaches aren't attractive, and I don't want to be called a damn cockroach.
Well, I agree with you. I think that that kind of disrespect. I mean, if that's what you're doing for ratings to get people to watch your show, maybe you need to think about that. I mean, you're hurting people's feelings. I mean, this is, when you're evaluating somebody's business livelihood, it's almost like evaluating their child. They gave birth to this idea. They've invested so much in this idea. They've grown this idea from inception to either completion or something close to that. And you're saying not only do I reject what you've built, what you've invested your life in, but I'm going to berate you on top of that, talk to you like a dog, and I'm going to call you names. And I get to do all this because I feel privileged because I have money and you don't. And that really bothers me. I mean, can't you? I mean, you're already rejecting somebody. You're already hurting them and crushing them. Can't you just leave it at that? Can't you just say, no, thank you, I'm not interested? I remember thinking about a time when I asked, when I had a meeting with some investors about investing in one of our companies, and I remember going into the meeting. I really thought, man, we're good, we're good. Only a fool would not invest in this company. I'd already put $50,000 of my own money into it. It was doing really well, making money hand over fist. So I had meetings with these African American guys, and a couple of them. And I remember one of them we just said, "I'm not interested," and I was like, "You're not interested? What?" And you just you're taken aback, like, wait a minute, but this is great. Like, what are you talking about? But then so that was bad enough to hear him say, "I'm not interested." But then if he had gone into like, this is a horrible idea, it's never going to work, and a big company's going to come along and crush you like the cockroach that you are, I know as a man, I would probably have to knock somebody out that day. Like you ain't got to call me a cockroach. You ain't got to talk about how bad my idea is. And the fact is that a lot of great, brilliant, amazing ideas, have been rejected in their early stages. I don't know if you know this, Patrice. Did you know that the guy who check this out? There was a guy at Yale University in the 1980s who wrote a research paper and said, "I'd like to one day create a company that will deliver packages anywhere in the world overnight." And do you know that at Yale, the business school professor at Yale, Now Yale's a top-notch business school, top professors in the world. He gave him like a C minus or something on his paper and said, "Your idea is good, but it's unrealistic. It'll never work." And so that guy later on it ended up in creating FedEx. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I think that when I look at these young ladies with the Lip Bar is the name of their company, and I actually have been sending people to their Facebook page to show their support for these young women because they remind me of my daughter. You know, they're about your age, and they're also into fashion and beauty like you. So I empathize with what they went through, and their page has been shooting through the roof, and I think they're going to be really successful. I'll let you get the last word on this, Patrice. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I will say, you say that he did that for ratings. So my personal, since you said that, it made me think. I don't blame him for calling them cockroaches, even though it was wrong. But I do blame the viewers who agree with it, because I'm sure that a lot of black women and a lot of black men probably felt like it wasn't racist, and they probably thought that you were just trying to throw a race card. Because believe it or not, a lot of black people do think that way. So I don't necessarily blame him. I blame them, because they continue to watch the show, so that allows him to act like an ass, because they basically pay for it.
Mm,
So at this point, it's maybe 20% his fault, but the other 80% it's for those black people who continue to watch the show and who see no wrong in what he did.
mm. Well, I see a lot of wrong in what they did, and I want everybody to know that the name of their company is The Lip Bar. And they make beautiful shades of lipstick, apparently, as well as other beauty products. I don't know the names of the young ladies yet. I'm going to actually reach out to them and maybe talk to them when we get back from Costa Rica, because I'd love to hear how they feel. And their Facebook page literally is The Lip Bar, BAR. And it looks like the page has been growing since we started talking about this. So I want to say thank you, Patrice. It was great talking to you, of course. And we're about to head out of the country, so we are so excited. But Patrice has something to say about this, and I wanted to give my baby a chance to talk. And also, my daughter, just so you know, she is the exact opposite of a cockroach. So you ever call her a cockroach, I might have to crush you like the cockroach
Call
that
me
you are.
coach and I'm gonna kick your ass.
There, oh well, if she can't whoop your ass, then I'll be right behind her. Anyway, I'm just being silly. All right, well, all right, Cheese. Well, I'll see you in a minute. I love you.
Bye.
All right, and everybody, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. This is Patrice Johnson. She blogs under the name Naturally Treese at naturallymoi.com. So go check it out, naturallymoi, MOI. And also, don't forget, we have a new film out called Resurrecting Black Wall Street, about the Black Wall Street atrocity in 1921. So please go check that out as well. You can see the trailer at resurrectingblackwallstreet.com. That's resurrectingblackwallstreet.com. Please, please, please support the film. We really could use your support. So until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.
Bye.